Good evening. No one is calling it a bust, but certainly the Bakken oil boom isn't what it used to be.
The peak of production occurred in May of 2013. Back then, there were 315 active drilling rigs. Today, there are fewer than 70.
That reduction in exploration has resulted in the loss of almost 20,000 jobs. Most of those workers from out of state lived in man camps, staying in RVs and mobile homes.
And when they went back home, they abandoned those temporary shelters. Vicki Nguyen takes a look at how the exodus is affecting oil-producing counties.
Tom Novak is in the salvage business. He recycles the hope left behind by roughnecks.
It's sad, you think, man, there were some guys here that were probably making in the upwards of $100,000 a year and living in camp.
This doesn't look like much now, but it was once someone's dream home. When production was booming in the Bakken, housing was scarce and oil field workers were lucky if they had a simple camper like this to live in.
A lot of people came up here with high hopes, and they came up here and, you think you're going to save money, but, with all the expenses and being away from your family, I don't think a lot of people succeeded.
Patience Froelich is part of a two-person demolition team. She and Tom are cleaning up after laid-off workers.
It's an epidemic that's been in the making since this began, that nobody would listen to us.
Novak says almost every morning he finds campers discarded at the entrance to his salvage yard. This field of lost dreams contains more than 175 campers and countless cars abandoned by people who came to North Dakota seeking a better life.
These guys are up here living in a pop-up camper. I feel sorry for them, but they were here and they did what they had to do to try to make their family survive somewhere else.
Novak charges up to $250 to destroy a camper. The cost at the Williams County landfill is $500. Even at that price, foreman Zach Corcoran says it's a burden no matter how you crush it.
It's becoming an issue for us to be able to keep up with the amount coming in. I try to limit no more than 2 per day, just so we can keep up with the separation of the frame and all the other metals, and so we have enough space to keep bringing them in.
But with layoffs continuing, there might not be any way to keep up with what remains of the housing boom.
It's better just to leave it than to deal with it.
Rodney Pumphrey says about 300 of his coworkers have been laid off.
It is what it is. It's just all part of it. It's a business. These people every day coming up here trying to get a job, then again, these people going home left and right.
Some campers are in good enough shape to be sold, but it's definitely a buyer's market. There are also thousands of RVs still being used by workers who are employed.
You walk through them at night and the wind's blowing and there's a lot of creaking and moaning going on from the doors and cabins and stuff, and you think, man, it took a special breed of people to live that way.
The number of abandoned trailers are closely tied to the price of crude. If oil continues to drop, the number of campers left behind will keep increasing. In McKenzie County, reporting for NBC North Dakota News, I'm Vicki Nguyen.
The landfill foreman says Williams County is considering raising the price for disposing of trailers, but he fears if the cost goes up, even more of them will be abandoned in the Bakken.